Building a reliable retirement plan in the US is a complex architectural problem. You have to balance your current tax liabilities today against the cash flow and liquidity you are going to need decades from now. The final structure you build will rely on three primary pillars: employer-sponsored accounts like 401ks, individual retirement accounts or IRAs, and government safety nets like Social Security. Many people try to apply generic financial rules to these pillars. That is a dangerous approach. If you don't evaluate your specific life stage first, standard advice can actively work against you. Put your money in the wrong account type, and you will either pay completely unnecessary taxes during your peak earning years, or you will lock up cash you actually need right now without getting any meaningful tax benefit in return. To figure out exactly where your next saved dollar should go, look at this quadrant chart. We are mapping your current age on the horizontal axis against your income level on the vertical axis. If you are an early career builder, you land down here. You are time-rich with decades for investments to grow, but you are currently earning a lower salary. If you are a peak earner, you sit higher up. You are heavily time-constrained with a demanding career, and you are sitting in a much higher tax bracket. And if you are a pre-retiree on the right side of the chart, your primary focus shifts away from aggressive long-term growth and directly into immediate sequence optimization. We aren't going to debate if you should save. Instead, we are going to solve the specific trade-offs you face, choosing whether to pay taxes now versus later, and deciding between absolute control over your money versus automated convenience. Successful retirement planning is entirely about matching the right financial tool to your exact coordinate on this chart. Before we even touch on taxes, there is one absolute first priority for any retirement blueprint: the employer match. If your company offers a 401k match, contributing enough of your salary to hit that limit is your first move. If they match a contribution up to 4% of your salary, taking it yields an immediate, guaranteed 100% return on your money. The trade-off is liquidity. That doubled capital is strictly locked behind IRS penalty walls. If you try to pull it out before age 59 and a half, you will face severe tax penalties. Once you capture the match, this chart shows the next decision point in the optimization funnel. Your saved dollar hits a fork in the road. You have to choose a traditional pre-tax account structure or a Roth post-tax structure. Selecting the traditional route means you get a tax break today. You lower your current taxable income, which creates an immediate tax shield. The trade-off comes later. The money grows tax-deferred, meaning every dollar you withdraw in retirement is taxed as ordinary income. This leaves you highly vulnerable if government tax rates increase by the time you retire. The Roth route flips the timeline. You pay taxes on the money today, but then it grows completely tax-free for decades, and your withdrawals in retirement are entirely tax-free. The trade-off here is immediate cash flow. Because taxes are taken out at today's rates, choosing a Roth results in noticeably less take-home pay right now. Keep in mind, if your salary is high enough, the IRS eventually locks you out of making direct contributions to a Roth IRA entirely. Making the correct tax selection relies on one prediction. You have to estimate whether your current tax bracket is higher right now than it will be when you stop working. Opening a 401k or an IRA is just creating an empty vessel. Your money will stagnate and lose out to inflation unless you select an underlying investment strategy to act as the engine. Financial experts generally recommend avoiding individual stocks. Instead, the aggressive, hands-on standard is the three-fund portfolio. This strategy utilizes low-cost index funds to track three specific sectors: a total U.S. stock market fund, an international stock market fund, and a U.S. bond market fund. This comparison matrix shows exactly how these strategies stack up. The three-fund portfolio gives you maximum granular control over your asset allocation, while keeping your management fees as low as mathematically possible. The trade-off is the physical and emotional labor. You have to manually rebalance the math between those three funds every year, and you need the emotional discipline to not panic sell when the stock market inevitably dips. If you want a hands-off approach, you use a target date fund. You simply pick a fund with your estimated retirement year in the title, like 2055, and the fund does the rest. The outcome here is total automation. The fund manages the asset allocation for you, starting aggressive with stocks and automatically shifting safely into bonds as you get closer to your retirement age. For that convenience, you sacrifice direct control over your asset next, and you have to pay slightly higher expense ratios to the fund managers. The optimal investment engine is the one that aligns with your willingness to actively manage your own wealth versus your willingness to pay for automation. Let's pull this all together. This checklist is the lifetime blueprint, and it maps the tools we just covered directly to your current life stage. If you are young and earning a lower salary, you prioritize the Roth IRA. You want to pay taxes now while your rate is at its lifetime lowest, capturing decades of tax-free growth. If you are a peak earner whose income exceeds IRS limits, you use a backdoor Roth IRA strategy. This allows you to legally bypass the income limits to secure that tax-free growth. The trade-off is complexity. The backdoor Roth requires precise paperwork. If you already hold existing traditional IRAs, you have to carefully navigate the IRS pro rata rule, or you will accidentally trigger a massive tax bill. If you are between age 60 and 63, you are in the pre-retirement phase. Under the SCCOR 2.0 Act, you utilize the super catch-up limits to shield up to $35,750 a year inside a 401k. Utilizing that super catch-up limit fast-tracks your wealth right before the finish line, but it requires a massive diversion of your daily cash flow away from your current lifestyle spending. Your income and age are constantly moving targets. As you transition through these columns, your financial strategy must aggressively pivot to match. Building the structure is only half the battle. The final architectural challenge is safely extracting the money without outliving the supply. Look at this extraction model. The benchmark for safely pulling your money out is called the 4% rule. Following this rule dictates that you withdraw 4% of your total retirement nest egg in your first year and adjust for inflation each year after. This creates a sustainable withdrawal rate with a very low risk of financial ruin. The mechanical trade-off is that it requires a staggeringly large nest egg to generate meaningful annual income. $1 million saved only safely yields about $40,000 a year. To bridge that gap, you have one final variable, Social Security. You can claim it at age 62, but you have the option to delay claiming benefits until age 70. Waiting until your maximum age significantly and permanently increases your guaranteed monthly payout from the government. But delaying means you have to fund your life entirely from your own portfolio for those 8 bridge years. That requires rapidly drawing down your principal balance while you wait. The exact numbers dictate your next move. You can calculate your specific monthly savings target right now to see where you stand. Or, if you need to execute complex maneuvers like the backdoor Roth, consult a qualified tax professional to get the paperwork right.